My friend Chuck made a comment. He expressed his dismay at how many are observers rather than true participants. And he was referencing the believers, the body of Christ, that how many are happy to be observers, that they're familiar with God. They fit His Word in their relationship with Him through the framework of just their understanding. You might say they take it at a superficial level, as opposed to the true participants who pursue all that God has, that they allow Him to stretch them in their understanding, their belief, their faith, both for themselves and to benefit others. Which leads me to the story of the man who brought his son, who suffered from seizures, to Jesus. Now, how do those relate? We'll get to that. But he comes to Jesus, and his son was tormented by an evil spirit. And he says to Jesus that your disciples attempted to cast out the demon, but they were unable to. Now, this demon would cause him to have seizures, throw him into the fire, throw him into the water, etc. I mean, this is serious. And Jesus, gentle, merciful, gracious Jesus, gets upset. He's frustrated. Where is your faith? How much longer will I be with you? Now, was that frustration focused towards the people, to the disciples, to both? We don't know, but what we see is his absolute frustration at two levels. One, where is your deeper faith? But the other was to see this boy healed, to see actual transformation. Now, he says to the man, if you will believe, all things are possible. And in a moment of just unbelievable, genuine sincerity, the man said, I believe, but help my unbelief. Or I believe, help me believe even more. And Jesus, who is always faithful, cast the demon out and healed the boy. But later the disciples, why weren't we able to do it? And Jesus said, this kind doesn't go out except by prayer. And the aspect of that kind of prayer is that it builds up our faith. It draws us closer to God. And it's a great understanding of the principle, the paradigm, that all the faith, all this strength, authority, everything God has delegated to us, it both only operates in complete relationship with Him, but it's only strengthened in a deeper relationship with Him, which goes back to those who are willing, the observers. Remember, the point is we are supposed to grow from children to heirs of the kingdom, heirs who have both the rights and responsibility of the kingdom. And children are quite happy to stay in their situation. Children generally are quite happy to stay right where they are under what seems to be comfortable, the current framework of their understanding. But the heirs are the ones who are willing to step out of their comfort zone, that say, God, I believe. Help my unbelief. Help me believe more. Help me see more. That kind of prayer draws us closer to God, and in the process builds our faith, strengthens us, so that it can be a benefit to the world around us. Psalm says that God made His ways known to Moses, but His acts to His people. See, the difference was there was a clear distinction. God loved both groups. He loved Moses and He loved the people. He had a great plan for them. He was taking them to the promised land. But there was a different kind of relationship. The people, they were happy to just see God's power, just to see His acts. They were happy to know Him at that superficial level. They were happy to be observers. But Moses, he knew God's ways. Moses became a friend of God. He was this amazing leader that did something on a scale no one has ever done before or since. But along the way, he didn't start there, but he developed this relationship where he actually said at one point, God, don't fulfill your promise. Don't send us into the promised land if you aren't personally going with us. Moses got to the point in his relationship with God that he wanted all that God had, but only in relationship with God. See, the people were really observers, but they thought they were participants. For us to grow into heirs means that we have to take an active position. And how do we do that? That we often believe, I do, we all do, it's our natural preset, that we believe we're pursuing all that God has. But how much do we not see? How much do we not realize? That old saying, you don't know what you don't know. So what do? Well, there is no formula. But I think going back to Psalms, when it says that Moses, or God made his ways known to Moses, I think as heirs, we begin to ask more frequently, God, help me know you more. Help me know your ways more. Help me know your will and your authority and responsibility you've delegated to me to benefit the world around us through the power of application.